One thing I've always been saying is that racism is one of those things that now mean nothing. Because people play the race card even when it doesn't have anything to do with the situation. If you're black, the safest and easiest thing to do is just say it's racism. And Fani Willis has just now been caught doing that same thing. So remember when people had said, hey, it seems like you're sleeping with your subordinate, right? The guy that you hired, it seems like you're sleeping with him. And the first thing she jumped to was, it's racism.
Oh Lord, they gonna be mad when I call them out on this nonsense. First thing they say, oh, she gonna play the race card now. But no, God, isn't it them who's playing the race card when they only question one? Why don't they look at themselves and just be honest? I mean, can't they keep it 100 with themselves? Why are they so surprised that a diverse team that I assembled, your child, can accomplish extraordinary things?
It was all about racism. Oh, they're racist. That's the reason why this is all coming out. But now she had to admit it's not about racism. Check it out.
In the last 3 hours, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis admitted to a personal relationship with an outside prosecutor she appointed to manage the election interference case against former President Donald Trump. In a 176-page court filing, Willis said she and Nathan Wade developed a relationship in 2022, but that there was no relationship prior to his appointment as special prosecutor.
So we're at Fulton County, Georgia, where the DA there, her name is Fani Willis, has now had to admit in court filings that she was sleeping with someone she was supervising. Now, it's shocking because Fani Willis came into office specifically, and I mean specifically saying that she would not allow something like that to happen. Matter of fact, she would fire any supervisors who she found to be sleeping with their subordinates. Here are the receipts.
It is saddening to me if young women felt like they came to work and they were, one, even judged for being a woman, but two, if certainly they felt uncomfortable within the workplace. That will not be something that is allowed on my watch. Supervisors under my leadership that are not encouraging and building up my staff will not be supervisors long in my administration. And I certainly will not be choosing people to date that work under me. Let me just say that. We are at a place in society where things happen in people's relationships, husband and wife. Sometimes there are outside relationships. I don't think that that's what the community is concerned about, although there might be a moral breaking in that. I think that what citizens are really concerned about is if you chose to have inappropriate contact with employees. I mean, there's nothing that I can say on it other than it is distracting. It is certainly inappropriate for the #1 law enforcement officer in this state. And it really saddens me. And it will be very unfortunate if the taxpayers of this community have to pay for any of those lawsuits.
So now, as you see, Fani Willis is essentially doing the same thing that she said she would fire people for doing. It now gets a little bit more complicated at work, right? Now, here's a quick recap of how we got here. Wade gets hired by Willis. Then he has no experience with RICO cases or it seems like felony prosecution.
Wade was a municipal judge who mostly dealt with traffic tickets and running a private practice focusing on family law and contract disputes. Our Fox News research department found no evidence he has ever prosecuted a felony case. Yet Fani Willis picked him for arguably the biggest case in her career.
He gets paid 6 times more than the other special prosecutors.
Public records obtained from Fulton County show the amount each were paid differed substantially. Records indicate the DA's office paid Special Prosecutor John Floyd's law firm, Bondurant, Mixon, and Elmore, close to $73,000 between 2022 and 2023. Special Prosecutor Anna Cross's law firms, Cross Kincaid and the Cross Firm, were paid a total of roughly $90,000 during the same years. Over the same time period, Fulton County records show the DA's office paid the law offices of Nathan J. Wade more than $650,000.
And the day after Willis hires him, he files for a divorce from his wife.
And we suspected a lot of this came from divorce filings from Nathan Wade's case, which he filed just a day after he was given this job as special prosecutor. So we tried to get them, because that report that was filed on Monday includes no concrete evidence. But this was all we could find. When we went to the clerk's office in Cobb County Superior today, this was just it. The single piece of paper saying that his divorce case has actually been sealed since February of 2022. Attorneys today tell us that is highly unlikely for divorce cases.
Now, I got to stop here and give credit to the legal team for digging all this out, because they saw those facts and then went and dug deeper and filed a motion with the court saying this.
In this new court filing obtained by Atlanta News First, Michael Roman and his attorneys are accusing the Fulton County DA Fani Willis and Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade of having an inappropriate and romantic relationship, and that the two benefited from it. The suit claims Willis and Wade took lavish vacations together and that he used part of his salary from the DA's office to travel with Willis. Roman's attorney claims they discovered that the two went on trips together, quote, outside of court filing.
Now, Fani Willis at first denied the allegations and said, they're racist, the racist coming after me. And even said the man's former wife that she was going crazy. She was just looking to destroy her. But the wife dropped receipts.
But today, Joycelyn Wade responded in court, releasing credit card statements alleged to be her husband's that show he spent more than $1,000 for a passenger listed as Fani Willis to accompany him on trips to Miami and San Francisco in 2022 and 2023. Joycelyn Wade's attorneys wrote that they wanted to depose Willis to determine the nature of her relationship with Nathan Wade.
Jocelyn Wade responded to that, her attorney Thursday saying, quote, "We aim to help Mrs. Wade resolve her divorce fairly and privately, but apparently DA Fani Willis would prefer to use her public platform. Clearly, this matter is personal for her." Either way, whether true or not, Thursday, Fulton County Judge Scott McAfee ordered a hearing on the matter, saying Willis had to respond to these allegations in writing by February 2nd and at that hearing on February 15th.
So February 2nd was just a couple of days ago, and she responded to those allegations by admitting, like, hey, he was banging me. I knew it, but I shouldn't be taken off the case because even though we were sexting each other, it doesn't really matter because it doesn't affect the case.
Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis has acknowledged developing a, quote, personal relationship with Special Prosecutor and former President Donald Trump's Georgia election case, Nathan Wade. Trump's co-defendant, Michael Roman, accused Willis and Wade of having romantic ties last month, per The Hill, but Willis has denied any wrongdoing, saying, quote, any personal relationship among members of the prosecution team does not amount to a disqualifying conflict of interest or otherwise harm a criminal defendant.
Some of the folks over at MSNBC recently weighed in on Willis's acknowledgement of the relationship. Let's hear what they had to say.
I think that the notion of tainting the jury pool is a valid one. I don't think that Fani Willis stepping away from this case eliminates that, because you're still talking about her office, you're still talking about her investigators, and you're still talking about her indictment. And so I think that she did the right thing by saying, look, this is what it is. She can't get in front of it because, you know, what a lot of people may not realize is that in the streets of Fulton County, this was largely considered to be a public secret in terms of this relationship. And that doesn't make it better or worse. What I'm saying is I don't know that the impact on the jury will be as significant as people are thinking is going to be, because for the jury pool, it may not be that much of a surprise.
Now, with the confirmation that she's sleeping with one of her subordinates, they're going on extravagant vacations, and she's paying him more money than everyone else, the other co-defendants have said, hey, we also want to have these charges dropped because there is a conflict of interest going on here. Check it out.
Yet another defendant in the election interference case wants the charges dismissed and Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis removed.
Yeah, former Georgia Republican Chair David Schaefer has joined onto an early motion.
Former Georgia GOP Chair David Schaefer is accused of organizing and being a fake 2020 presidential elector. He wants the 8 counts, including a racketeering charge against him, dismissed and Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis removed from the case. While opting in to an earlier motion filed by co-defendant Michael Roman, Schaefer claimed Willis had engaged in a, quote, pattern of prosecutorial forensic misconduct. At issue is Willis's now admitted personal relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade, who she's paid more than $650,000 and taken trips with to California and the Caribbean. Last week, in her response to the motion, Willis called the allegations, quote, salacious, based on public relations strategy, not legal argument. She also said Wade made more money because he did more work. In a sworn statement, Wade said his relationship with Willis began months after he was hired. Legal experts seem split on how the judge might rule on the motion during next week's hearing.
Okay, so let me know how you feel about this in the comment section. I believe that she should just step down because this is getting too messy, but this is the biggest case of her life. I think it's going to be hard for them to dismiss the charges. I think that's not going to happen. I do think, though, the more likely scenario would be maybe them transferring the case to another district attorney's office, but they would still have to show that the defendant is somehow prejudiced by her sleeping with her subordinate, which I just don't think is there. I think it's bad taste, and I think there may be an ethics issue here, but I don't think there's really anything that prejudices the defendant in this case. Now, maybe I could be wrong. Maybe there's something I'm not seeing. I'd appreciate you letting me know in the comment section how you feel that the defendant's rights would be prejudiced by her sleeping with her subordinate, because the facts are what they are. But I think the safest thing to do, because again, whenever you talk about prosecution, you're talking about the appearance of impropriety. And I think because you had this appearance, it'd probably be safer to just transfer the case. But we'll see what happens. The judge, I think the next hearing's on the 15th. So, I'll cover that and see what the judge says. But I'm assuming the judge is not going to drop the charges. That's not going to happen. If anybody's telling you that's going to happen, they're just making that up to make you feel good. It's more likely either she's going to be admonished or they're going to say you have to transfer the case to another office. And I think that would probably be the worst case scenario for Fani Willis. But as always, let me know how you feel in the comment section. Tell me where you believe I'm wrong. And my name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.